Okay, so I made a hover tank before, and it was actually pretty cool. It'd go quite fast and wouldn't flip over most of the time. The problem is it was very heavy, which was kind of a problem for hovering. So yeah, today I'm going to try and make, well, a better hovering vehicle that can hopefully hover pretty fast. This video is going to be quite short, and also I don't know if it'll explain everything properly, but anyway, let's start. So of course I'm going to have to start with base. I'm also going to add a seat, since that's going to be pretty important for actually controlling this thing. Now this thing isn't going to go too fast, but just around the right speed, so we can actually like go places like an okay speed. So right now what I'm going to do is add some thrusters that are always on. This basically just makes us a bit more neutrally buoyant, which should help us get more of a smooth hovering effect. Now I had to play around with thrusters a bit just to find out the right power, but eventually I wanted it just to fall down very slowly. Now I added some more thrusters which were connected to sensors so they could sense the ground under them. Now one set of sensors was on around 8 and the other one was on around 7. This was so that if we did go too low, it pushes it back up more quickly than it would if we were. Now I do need to change a few things, but it's actually looking pretty good for the moment. And now I'm starting to actually get into the hover. As you can see, it kind of hovers. It's definitely way too powerful, or just not heavy enough. The build isn't just heavy enough. So now I just put up the thrusters mutually buoyant just to see how good that would do, and then it would start to fly away, which isn't good. And now I also added forwards, and we can kind of go forwards at an okay speed. Now, then I added even more thrusters, which sent even, well, littler away, so this would make it even better if we, well, fell too low. Now, there is a current problem, that the neutral buoyancy thrusters aren't very powerful enough, but I also couldn't be able to do anything about it. Because as you can see, once we take off the lift, it's just a bit bouncy, just a tiny bit. Now, I also added some thrusters, which basically turn off the neutral buoyancy thrusters if we went too high. Now, this is so that we can easily, well, fall back down if we do go too high. So now I'm just going to add even more thrusters, which will basically activate if we do go too high. This will push us down even further. Probably not what we needed, but they might be helpful. Now, this thing's actually pretty good. I did also add turning, but it's not the best. This thing actually can drive around, kind of. It does start flying off sometimes, but we'll have to deal with it. I also added more thrusters on the side with sensors reading them. I don't know quite what the values are on them, but it should help if us from tilting to side to side. So yeah, this thing actually is pretty good. We can actually go pretty fast. Of course, we do hit the ground sometime and flip over, but that's not too much of a problem most of the time. It is made for flat ground, as you can see, it flips over quite a bit. Well, when the ground isn't flat. So anyway, that was good and all, but also we weren't making loads of progress, so I decided to make a complete another one. So this is basically just taking everything that we learned from the last one and putting it on this one with a few changes. So I'm basically going to do lots of the same stuff that I did last time, but like adding thrusters and making it neutrally buoyant and stuff, all the stuff like that. Oh, I also added proper turning, which turning will be a lot better since now we could turn on the spot. As you can see, we haven't added loads of thrusters, but it's still usable at the moment, even without much thrusters. So this thing's actually pretty good. It does start turning from side to side sometimes, which is a bit annoying, but we're gonna have to kind of deal with it. This thing does tip over quite a lot. I don't know why, but it just does. But so we might need to change some things, but I will. I had an idea to add more weight and also add some downward thrusters, since that would also help if we get too high. Because at the moment we do just keep like flipping over when we go too high. Now we were getting very close to the end by now. It actually was going pretty well. Now this thing did have a few problems, but I just couldn't solve them. I was also running out of time a bit, so that was up. But anyway, I went to try and test this thing out on the outside of the map, since it's a lot flatter when there's the hills. So yeah, there are a few rocks, but it doesn't matter too much. But anyway, I did make this thing go quite slow, but it does hover pretty well, and it's actually quite good to drive. Times did happen when it did like almost flip, and then it starts flying away. Problem is, when it gets to air time, it'll basically just like try to flip over, which is pretty bad. It also does get a quite bumpy ride after a bit, which isn't the best either. But yeah, this thing's basically done. It was quite fun to make, to be honest, and it was actually quite a journey. I've never really done like a proper hovercraft, except my hover tank, which was actually could have been better than this. Yeah, so this video was quite short compared to my other ones, but anyway, I hope you enjoyed and bye.